Actualization, the third and final stage of being wired differently. We talked about genetically being wired differently. This idea of how we were baked and how we came out with all these neurons. We had as many as 1,000 trillion neurons at one point by the time we're 12 or 15, depending on how we grow and eat and do things. That's actually a quadrillion. Those genetics are happening to all of us when we're born. We're all clearly wired differently. Or the second stage of being wired differently we talked about is the fun part, or the uniqueness, the challenge of being who we are. That through this genetic side of us, we've been created differently. We were honed differently. Our craft that we do differently. We think differently. All these things about us that people may make fun of or doubt us or talk about us because we do things differently. We believe differently. Yeah, we march to a different drummer differently. We are all this attitudinal disorder because of the genetic side of what happened to us and how we were raised and how we fight in fury, and all the things that we do makes this attitudinal disorder side of us stage 2. But stage 3 is what clearly will separate you from everybody. Stage 3 is this idea of embracing the fact that since we're wired differently, not only just genetically, since we're wired differently attitudinally, we need to understand that we're going to drift. We're going to do things we shouldn't do. We're going to think things we shouldn't think. We're going to get carried away in areas we shouldn't get carried away in because we're wired differently. We're hard drivers. We're hard chargers. We're high peak performers. We look at things differently. We just do things and things get away from us. We drift. And all the good things that we were taught by our parents and our teachers and our preachers and our mentors, sometimes they just drift away because we get caught up in ourselves, or we get caught up in our differentiality, we get caught up in our hard charging status, we get caught up in all these things that create our uniqueness, attitudinally wired differently. But the same thing that is our gift is our curse, because it takes us away from who we need to be. It takes us away from this pure place that we need to come back to. The fact that we're wired differently allows us to know that we've drifted, allows us to look for the drift. And I want you to look for that drift. I want you to understand that you are going to drift, and I want you to embrace it. And this enlightenment side, or this actualization third stage of being wired differently, is going to allow you to really grow with your special gifts. The fact that you can say you're wrong, the fact that you can notice that you've drifted. Matter of fact, the more importantly piece is that you're going to look for your drift. This actualization side of being wired differently is going to catapult you to heights you've never seen before in leadership, love, relationships, business, entrepreneurial status. This is all the key. Recognize your drift. Get out of that land of coral. Embrace the fact that you're attitudinally disordered. You can do this. The 3 stages of wired differently are going to work for you: genetic, attitudinally, and actualization. I want to challenge you. You're wired differently.